Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of SIAT, I Arindam, the Program Director of SIAT, welcome all of you on today's webinar on COVID-19 and city management challenges and opportunities. COVID-19 pandemic has worstly affected the cities and has put sustainable and symbiotic urban development at stake. The development of the cities thought process has undergone manifold changes due to the multidimensional and be it culturally, economically, and environmentally. In this regard, the cities assumed a prominent role in its response to the prevailing situations. The Center for Urban and Built Environment CUBE has a comprehensive and transversal approach to the institute work in the urban context for implementation of 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Keeping this in mind, CUBE would like to bring forward the urban actors, including mayors, local policymakers, and professionals, to help the city discussion makers in the reduction of the adverse effect that COVID-19 has meted out so that a sustainable and strengthened city can evolve. From this perspective, today's webinar can be an exemplary rendition for all. Now it is the moment when I want to invite Mr. Bishwajit Raichaudhuri, the chairman of SIAT, to say a few words.
Thank you, Arindam. Thank you for inviting me. And on behalf of South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development, first of all, I would like to give my special thanks to our honorable chief guest, Mr. Durga Shankar Mishra, sir, honorable secretary of Ministry of Urban and Housing Affairs, MoHUA, Government of India, and also our special guest of honor, Mr. Devarshi Sen, Chairman, CMD of HITCO, Government of West Bengal, and also all other our resource persons who have joined, who have given their kind consent to be a part of this event. So you know that already Arindam has told about the focal theme of this event, and on behalf of this SIAD, we have developed a center, that is the Center for Urban and Built Environment, with a vision to develop a platform where students, where researchers can get an opportunity to learn from the different aspects of urban subject as well as different issues, urban affairs related to the urban affairs. Along with that, it can be a part of policy making system as that it can support our government, both the state government and the central governments too. And particularly as we have developed it in Eastern zone, keeping in mind also in the northeastern belt of India also. So with this platform, we are also having an interest to work on the support not only an academic and research institution based, but also in case of policy making sectors. We are honored that already we got some eminent personalities, those who have joined with us as our honorable advisory team. And also in future, we are planning to work on the different aspects of urban different issues, urban related issues, along with the application of technologies, because we have already developed another platform on behalf of SIAD, that is the International Institute of Geospatial Science and Technology, where we are mostly focusing to implement the GIS and remote sensing technology, as well as the emerging technologies like AI, machine learning, data science, as that it can helpful, IoT also, as that it can be helpful for sustainable urban development and its basic integral development also. So with this, once again, I would like to thanks and especially Durga Shankar sir for giving his valuable time with us. And on behalf of that, hope we will get the assistance in future also in our activities, and we will get you also and your valuable support and advice also. So thank you. With this, I would like to conclude my version and also hand over the microphone to Arindam. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raichaudhuri. Now it is the prestigious moment when I invite our chief guest, Mr. Durga Shankar Mishra, the Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, to deliver his valuable keynote speech. Mr. Durga Shankar Mishra, currently working as the Secretary to Government of India in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs since June 2017. Mr. Durga Shankar Mishra belongs to 1984, the batch of the Indian Administrative Service from Uttar Pradesh, and he has held various senior assignments, union and state governments covering the revenue administration, internal security, vigilance, and civil aviation and tourism, sports, agriculture, research, taxation, and medical department. Mr. Mishra is an MBA and international business batch of electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur, and Mr. Mishra is an MBA from international business from University of Western Sydney, Australia, and postgraduate diploma in public policy from the Institute of Social Studies, the Hague, Netherlands, and he has taken keen interest in promoting the good governance and has published various papers on the subjects related to good governance, public administration, and development administration in national and international journal and books. He has represented the union and state government at various national and international fora and participated in such workshops, conferences. He has been visiting as a faculty in the University of Guelph, Canada, and he is a fond of trekking, sports, and tourism. So we are extremely privileged to have him with us today. So Mr. Durga Shankar Mishra, sir, over to you.
Dr. Roy Chaudhary, Mr. Arindam, and all the participants in this 2 days webinar on a very important subject, which is COVID-19 and the city management, the challenges and opportunities. A very nicely worded subject matter to be deliberated in the next 2 days from 3 p.m. onwards on this digital platform. I congratulate you for choosing the subject. The South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development, SIRAD, and its Center for the Urban and the Built Environment, CUBE. This is a very pertinent subject, I mean, especially in view of the pandemic which the country has been facing since the last March 2020. We had the first wave, and we had a series of lockdowns, and after the lockdown, the economy started opening up, showing the good results. In fact, by end of the year, we had a lot of good results coming in the real estate sector, in various other sectors of the economy, and the predictions for the growth of the economy is going to be, I mean, we had around 12% plus growth predictions were there by the month of January or so. But then comes the second wave. The second wave came in the month of April. I mean, when everything was normal, the markets were open, the supermarkets, I mean, were open, cinema halls, the transport system, the people, the flights were going. In fact, I was traveling. I came to Kolkata in the month of, I think, in the month of February. So, I mean, I traveled across the country, various places, almost 3-4 across the country. And then comes the pandemic again, the second wave, and everything gets halted again. I mean, this time, local lockdowns in certain cities, certain states, part of the states. This has been a series for the last maybe 1 month or so. And this time when it has come much more stronger. I mean, there have been a lot of casualty. I mean, the total number of cases had gone up as much as, say, around 400,000, which has come down now. That's a good sign. I mean, that's a very good sign. The way the country has addressed the first pandemic, we addressed so positively that across the globe, this was everybody praised. Everybody had a very good praise, appreciation for the way our country addressed the pandemic, where it has made various developed countries as a major challenge. It's a global pandemic. It's not an Indian phenomenon. Second wave again, now things are showing very positive results. The number of deaths has gone down. The number of infections have gone down. The positive rate has gone down. In certain places, in certain geography, it is there. But the major thing, I mean, while we are addressing this, there is a lot of learning in the last 14-15 months from the pandemic. The new words to come, how we are going to address that. Suppose if there is a third wave, the second wave, the way it is going, I think it's just a matter of few more days. I mean, it's a matter of few more days and it's gone. The way it came, like a cyclone, it will go off like a cyclone. The third wave may come, the fourth wave may come. What is the preparedness and what is that we need to do? How we can manage our cities? There's a lot of learning across the globe, and this is an international conference. We need to share all that. And this is the subject matter of your conference. I think one major learning, which is this platform. I mean, this provides this, you is connected across the globe. I mean, this is people from all parts of the world, all parts of the country are connected and talking to each other as if we are sitting in a conference room. In a normal time, this would have been there, maybe sitting in, say, conference hall in Kolkata or maybe in Delhi or some other place, and there are thousands of people sitting there having some by smaller group chats, smaller group discussions, and coming out with some recommendations, and we come out with some policies, some execution, some various kinds of things. But here, this platform provides a very robust platform where we are able to interact with each other, learn from each other, and see what is that we can do. It's a very important learning. This digital platform is a very important learning. And what is that we can do so that this becomes a major tool in the city governance? Because the question, specific question which are addressing is a city management under the COVID-19 kind of a situation. It is not only COVID-19, could be anything else. This COVID-19 comes as one of the centuries big pandemic. I mean, there have been some other such kind of virus have been there in past, say 10 years back, 15 years back, but this is a major phenomenon. So what are the learnings and what is that we can do? Now, first let's understand what is that the city do. Because city is a place where the people, large number of people congregate. The density goes high because there is it's like we take the advantage of people coming together, different skills coming together, larger economic, I mean, we call them the engines of economic growth. We call the cities as engine of economic growth because large number of people with a different kind of capacity, different kind of skills, they come together and they kind of synergize to improve the economic activities, whether it is the manufacturing or whether it is the financial activities, whether various kinds of activities, they are all, I mean, they work on the human skills. But at the same time, when there is a larger density, when a pandemic came, which are the places which are hit most? The cities were hit most. Which cities were hit most? The larger cities, the cities like Bombay, the cities like Ahmedabad, city like Bangalore, they were hit most. Then came the second rank of cities like Ranchi, Lucknow, Kanpur, and the second rank of the cities, they started getting hit. And then come the smaller cities. I mean, because cities, there is a higher density and the chances of infection going further, it increases. So in fact, I was very much happy. I mean, mostly last week, I was holding a joint working group meeting with the Federal Republic of Germany, and my counterpart in the German government, the state secretary of the ministry which looks after the housing and urban there. When we were discussing in the joint working group meeting, she mentioned that they have recently launched a challenge for a corona, I mean, the cities which will be proof to this kind of a pandemic. How to develop a new city which will be, I mean, which will not have that kind of challenges which you face right now. Maybe something new may come, and I have requested her that whatever may be the impact, I mean, the result of the challenge, they should share with us. We can have learning, we can have do something of that kind, but that is for the new city. What about the existing cities? That is, the existing cities, the challenges with the city management is, one is the sanitation. That's a major challenge. I mean, when the pandemic hit in the March 2019, one of the first advisories which my ministry issued, that was on the sanitation. What is that we need to do? And thanks to the Swachh Bharat Mission, which was launched by our visionary Prime Minister in the 2014, 2nd October 2014. If the Swachh Bharat Mission were not there, possibly there would be much more other diseases coming out of this pandemic. Because of Swachh Bharat Mission, the cities were much more cleaner. I mean, all of you can be the testimony to this. Our cities, the level of cleanness, the city of open defecation free, I mean, the defecation on the streets, that has really gone down. That has been controlled a great deal. So that was a good thing. But the sanitation was a major challenge, and we issued a guidelines. There was a confidence among our Swachh Karmis, the frontline workers who are responsible for the sanitation. what is that we can do so that they get a confidence and the sanitation can become much better, because every day we create all kinds of waste, and those waste needs to be taken up, need to be treated. We also need to change our habits, how to reduce the waste, how we can improve our lifestyle so that we can reduce, recycle, and reuse such kind of things. Various things are needed, and there have been large amount of learning to the Swachh Bharat mission, thanks to the visionary launch of the Swachh Bharat mission by the Honorable Prime Minister in the 2014. We had that very positive work behind this when the pandemic was started in March 2020. The second thing is the water. Water is a major challenge, and waterborne disease, a lot of things. And in the infrastructure front, we had the Amrut scheme, through which you will be happy to know that under the Amrut, which was launched in June 2015, so far we have already provided 1.05 crore water tap connections. Now these water connections is one thing. We have provided water to the families. We have to take it beyond. I'll come to that later. Then the sanitation of the wastewater, because all that fecal sludge we are collecting, all the almost like 72 lakhs new toilets were constructed, individual toilets or the public toilets or the community toilets across the all the cities. Now this is the kind of somebody who was defecating outside, they have now started defecating inside the home or inside the community or in the public facilities. Now all these things, unless they are taken away and they're treated properly, that will lead to, it's like a delayed the impact of this. So what is that you can do for that? The fourth component which comes is the transport. Transport is a major challenge. Once you see the cities become very clean, neat and clean. Once the pandemic was there, we were able to clean the streets, and even the sky started looking much bluish. The air pollution came down in various cities. But then once the city comes back, that's a lockdown situation cannot remain always. We have to come back to the normal. We have to have the normal activities. The life has to go on. The economic activities has to go on. So then, what is that? How we can address the issue of transport? We issued a very an advisory on the transport front also. I'll come to that later. Then this is the street lights. That's another area which the cities have to manage, the street lights. The cities have also to manage the various kinds of services to the people. Now, how the cities can do that? Let me start with the transport. The transport advisory which is sent, and which we have, you will be surprised that we had a challenge launched immediately after this, when the lockdowns were over in the month of, I think it's September, October, we launched a cycle for change. We have lost cycling across the country. The cycle had become like a poor man's cycle. But thanks to the smart city mission, which has brought back that cycling into the forefront. Now in a lot of the smart cities, you see there is a cycle sharing system. There is a cycle lanes. There are cycle pathways. And then we launch this challenge to all our cities, which are the smart cities or whose population is more than 500,000. That through that challenge process, we will handhold, we will some fund, we'll give some award, and then there's a whole countrywide, there's a lot of interest shown in the cycle for change. We launch another challenge, streets for people. Unfortunately, the streets and the roads which have, which are basically meant for the people, the streets are meant for the people. They have been occupied by the vehicles, by the automobiles. Whether it is a two-wheeler, a three-wheeler, or a four-wheeler, they will occupy most of the places. The people who are walking on the streets, they have no place to walk. They feel unsafe. Their life is at risk. There are a lot of accidents there when they cross the road. So then we launch a challenge called the Streets for the People. Let that people have that prime place there, and there has been a lot of interest shown. I'll invite you. You can go to our smart city mission and see the kind of interest, the kind of activities our cities have done. A lot of innovations, a lot of creative ideas have come, and we are going to push them through. The third thing, the third challenge we had is the safe neighborhood challenge. How to make your neighborhood safe for the children, for the women, for the those who are differentially abled. How to make them safe on the streets. How to make them safe in the neighborhood. So that's another challenge with the cities have to think. And then comes the transport for all, which was launched recently. How we can use the power of IT. how we can connect things. I mean, through the app system. This is a, I mean, how the one mode, there's a multi-mode going in the city, like city of Kolkata will have, I mean, whether it is a three-wheeler or a four-wheeler or a metro system or a suburban rail or the rail system, all these things, can you connect to the app? Can there, I mean, they can be seamlessly connected through the, for the payment of fare and all that. We have a national common mobility card system, which has launched, the country has launched, is something very new, and it is now gaining momentum across the country. So what is that you can do? How we can use the power of IT in improving this? And lastly, how we can improve the public transport. That is the bus system, the BRTS system, the metro system, or maybe even the shared mobility, where the people share the vehicle and reduce the pollution in the atmosphere, pollution to the environment. So all these has been, I mean, how the cities can manage the transport, that can make a city a better city, and through this tool of IT they can do that. The learning from the our smart city mission is, we have already have the 55 integrated command and control centers. 55 I mean, out of the 100 smart cities, already 55 cities have the integrated command and control system. This is like a brain and the nervous system. I coined that word in one of the conference. I said this is like a brain and nervous system of the human being. The cities are like organic bodies, and this organic body has a brain and it has got the nervous system. It can sense, it can treat, it can analyze, it can take decisions. So this integrated command and control center, whether it is sanitation, I mean, whether the bins are being cleaned or not, being emptied or not, they're moved or not, they're treated or not, whether, I mean, people who are supposed to be cleaning the streets, they are doing that job or not. I mean, all these things can be collated, organized, the attendance can be done, all these things through the IT system, and this is being done in our smart city. Similarly, I mean, whether it is the water, all that water, you have the water, but you can provide 24/7 water supply. The whole fundamental of the smart city is, it is more from less. And how you can get more from less? If you ensure that the losses are less, the wastages are less, and every drop of water is used properly. And that is possible through the SCADA system. That is possible through our dashboard, when you are able to collate and you can track the water from the source to the place which is being consumed, and from there to the treatment, and treatment to the reuse. All these things can be tracked, and this is possible. This is being done in our smart cities. That's another learning. This dashboard can be used for complete e-governance. The people, I mean, whether you get a water connection, sewer connection, you get, I mean, you get your certificate, you get your building permissions, you get your all the services which the cities have to give. The complete e-governance can be done through that. And the most important, you can reach out to this to the public. You can, I mean, whether it is the information, you want to pass the information to the public in a pandemic like this, or whether it is in communication, two-way communication between through the app system from the citizen to the city managers, how they can be connected together. This dashboard has really provided a very, very important forum, and that is how through this integrated command and control center, I have requested BEL, one of our leading public sector undertaking under the Ministry of Defense, BEL, we have requested that can we have a prototype of this ICC, because I mean the cities have invested. When the Honorable Prime Minister, I mean he has the vision of getting 100 cities as the smart cities, they are like the lighthouses. They are the places where we are learning, and the things which we have learned, can we translate it back to the other cities? Can we take it to the other cities? Yes. I mean, initially we had to invest a lot, but that was our learning phase. Can we take the experience of these 100 cities to all our 4,372 cities? Yes, it is possible. It is very much possible. And that is how I have tasked BEL, Bharat Electronics Limited, say 3-4 months back. Can they come out with a module of this ICC, which we can pass on to the smaller cities, and with a much lesser investment, using the cloud system, they can have the same kind of power which our smart cities are having. They can do that. And they are, I mean, already for that, our BEL, they are trying to do that, this ICC, ICCC in their own colony. The BEL has got a big colony. Considering that as a city, I mean, the MD and the whole team was there. I had a long discussion. We had been, I mean, my mission director of smart cities following that. So they are going to come up with the module that suppose this is to be given to the city of Bardhaman. Can Bardhaman use this ICCC with very little cost and using the cloud system today? In these days, this IT thing is not very costly. You can use that and then provide your citizens a better economic, ease of living. This so whether it is the sanitation, whether it is water, whether it is the transport, whether it is the wastewater, street lights, all these things, and even the e-governance, that is the which touches the life of every people. This can be done through this kind of a system, IT-based system. In fact, we have in the ministry, we have been trying to get this e-governance system 100%. All our cities can be, on the e-governance platform, and that's our learning. That's a COVID-19 learning. That we have to more and more. We have to suppose the construction permit. For that, you have to go from one place to another place. Different seats. You have to change your application. I'm very happy to share with you that the work with the ministry has done. Our rank was 186 in just 2015. Today in 2020, the last World Bank report, ease of doing business, our rank was 27. We jumped 159 places in just 5 years. That is the kind of reforms we have introduced in Delhi and Bombay, and that reform has gone to 2,308 cities. Now that has to be replicated across the globe. All the cities has to follow this kind of model, that e-governance, where the people don't have to go from desk to desk, people don't have to chase, people has to just be through this this IT platform. You can enter your application, you can enter your thing on the dashboard or on the platform of the city, and there you can get an answer, you can get the service. That is the kind of thing which the city managers have to introduce to bring ease in living. Two more things which I would like to add in this context. The one area which is very bothersome during this pandemic is our street vendors. Street vendors are, they're very, very important to our economy. They provide a kind of a support system which normal economy, the formal economy does not provide. When it is getting vegetables in your colonies or in your house, or getting the fruits, or getting the, say, various kinds of the daily utilities, or whether it is the laundry service, say for example your hair cutting, all kinds of things which is the services at home is provided by the vendors. Unfortunately, this was one community which was never touched in the last 7 decades after independence. For the first time during pandemic, we had the PM Swanidhi scheme, Pradhan Mantri Street Vendor Atmanirbhar Nidhi scheme, and I'm very happy to share with you, in just last 9 months, the scheme has done wonders. More than 41 lakhs people have got registered for the loan on this scheme. More than 24 lakhs people have got their application sanctioned, and almost like 20.5 lakhs people, more than 20.5 lakhs people have been granted 2,050 crores of loans. So their business was totally gone after this pandemic. In fact, there have been a lot of learning from this pandemic, that we came to know that they were taking loan at the rate of 500%, 400%, 100%. That's the kind of interest they were paying, but now they were getting out of it. Unfortunately, there has been a second wave. There is a shock there. We were thinking, what is that we can do to provide them the relief? And the second aspect which bothered us during the pandemic was these people who are, normally live in, say, slums, or say informal settlements, is a huge dense population, and that's a phenomenon not in capital city, but in all cities across the country, bigger cities, smaller cities, in some form or other form, there is unauthorized living, there is a living in the slum areas, or the living in the informal areas, and there the services are compromised. So what is that we can do so that people have a decent living? Because somebody comes from a rural area, say a student comes from the rural area to study in a city, to have a better education, or to have better health facilities, or to have a better entertainment or leisure or such other things to improve his quality of life. He is not coming here to feel the challenges. But unfortunately, the living is, getting the rental housing at a cost becomes so costly, so difficult, that he has to settle in such informal settlement or in a slum or in such other areas. So then we started a scheme during the pandemic. That scheme is the affordable rental housing complex scheme. And to share with you, this is doing so wonders. Affordable rental housing complex scheme is basically using already constructed houses which are not occupied, or allowing certain kind of incentive to the private sector and the public sector to use the space which is available. If the space is available, we only incentivize them to use that for creating such kind of a hostels, such kind of a facilities where people who are students, maybe urban poor, urban migrant, they can live a honorable, decent, dignified living and earn their living and also contribute positively towards the economy. So this rental housing or the social rental housing could be another thing which has to be addressed. In fact, these things has to be part of our urban planning. I mean, a lot of urban planners must be there in your this webinar. In fact, I would like to note them. I mean, let them think, try to see what is that we can. Why do the slums come? Why people have to compromise on the living? Why do such kind of informal things are coming? I mean, now we are thinking of the new urban India. We are thinking of the new India. We are thinking of the developed India. Can we have a slumless city development? Can we have the cities which are more properly planned development? There's a lot of learning from the smart city mission. In fact, 3 months back in the month of January, we launched a document. In fact, it is, I will invite you to go through our document, learning from the smart city mission. I mean, we would like all cities, making cities smart, learning from the smart city mission. So whatever is the learning from these 100 smart cities in different forms, can those learnings be translated into the experience of all other cities, and they can become better city managers? Ultimately, the objective of, there is a very important saying by Ian Gale, a very renowned urban planner from the Denmark. I had a privilege of meeting with him when I was visiting that city. I went and spent more than an hour, and he presented me a book written by him. He has written plenty of books, and there he says cities are for the people. Cities are not for the mayors. Cities are not for the city managers. Cities are for the people. The cities have to manage the citizens' life in a way so that it brings ease in their life. It reduces their challenges so that the citizens are able to realize all their dreams. Where people come with aspirations, dreams, various kinds of things which they would like to do for their children, which they would like to do for the city, which they would like to do for their country, they would like to do it for the state. So can that become that what the pursuits which they want to do as a writer, as a administrator, as a business person, as a say artist, any kinds of profession they profess, that profession, they do not have to face the challenges of living, rather they face the challenges of doing their best and contributing, realizing their potential. And that's what the cities managers, that's what the cities, those who are responsible to manage the city, they are supposed to do. A smart city is the one where the managers become smart and they look after the citizens well. That is the major focus. And learning from this COVID-19 is that we have to, all that infrastructure we have got, we have to keep on building our infrastructure. We have to keep on building the road, electricity, all these things we have to do that, but have a layer of the IT also, so that you are able to get the best out of that infrastructure which you have created, so that we are able to deliver the best to your citizens. That's the message which I would like to give. There is a challenge. There is a huge opportunity to invest, huge opportunity to readjust ourselves, huge opportunity to realign ourselves to become closer to our citizens. One example I will give and close here. For example, like the current pandemic, there has been a huge challenge in the hospital. I mean, whether it is oxygen supply or whether it is the hospital beds or whether it is various kinds of facilities in the hospital. Can that kind of a management, the city can help these hospitals through this kind of a smart dashboard kind of a system, that all the movement, availability of the bed, availability of the ventilators, availability of the ICU facilities, availability of the various kind of other medical infrastructure, that could be readily made available to the people. Can that information gap be filled in? Can the communication be very straight and clean? If I want to, if I am facing the challenge, can that challenge be addressed? Can that, suppose if I need, I mean, people are confused whether I need to go to the ICU or whether I can have the home treatment. Can the our citizens be counseled through a two-way communication using this ICCC? Yes, it is all possible. It has been done. It has been done by our city like Indore. It has been done by city like Surat, city like Varanasi, Agra, various cities. I mean, across the country, various smart cities have done so, and all other cities can also do that. So we must, I mean, learning from here is, well, it looks challenging, but it is possible. And the country has learned in the last 6 years that everything is, we just have to realign ourselves, we have to readjust ourselves, we have to improve our working, we have to take this kind of a position, and then we can serve our citizens better. So I wish you all the very best for this 2 days detailed engagement on this very, very important subject of the COVID-19 and the city management, challenges and opportunities. I hope there will be a lot of learning from here. I'll be very happy if your institute can share those things to the ministry, which we can deliberate further, and whatever best can come out of it, we can share with our other cities. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to this August gathering on the digital platform. Thank you.